Okay, that's better. Sorry, I just realized that my camera was all streaky. I must have put my hand or finger over it. At some point, let's actually get this wiped down a little bit better. Okay, that's a bit better. I'll make sure I clean it before my next stream, apparently. Hi, so today we are going to be working on putting together the Mae Glasses Cases. These are the ones that need the white top stitching. And so I'll be clipping and sewing them. And then we'll also be working on the actual big bin of knot bags as well. And I've got dinner out with a friend tonight, so we'll see how far I get between that. My husband's home this week, so everything is very sporadic, again, as usual. But he's able to watch the youngest right now while the eldest is at childcare. So I figured I would jump on and actually get this rolling. So let's work on the Mae Glasses Cases, since that's what I said I would work on first, and I want to get them done. I have a few events coming up in the next few weeks. So on July 15th, I have an event with Ancient Arts Yarns at their dye studio in Calgary. It's a pancake breakfast, so it's because it's during Stampede. It's the second week of Stampede. It'll be from 10 to 4, and there's going to be a bunch of like different vendors there. And then I will be at Omatsuri on August, I believe it's 12th. Oh, right, I actually have to top stitch these beforehand, so we'll clip the clothes here first. I'll be at Omatsuri, and then I will be at Knit City, Vancouver, September 22nd to 24th. And I will be actually emailing out a newsletter with all of that information here as well within the next few days, actually, since I got to advertise the Ancient Arts Yarns in the newsletter. All right, so we're going to have to top stitch this. It looks like there's a little bit of loose stitching here, so we'll make sure that that gets hidden a little bit better. Or taken out, apparently. Okay. Let's tuck you in and make you look tidy here. So the Mae Glasses Cases are good for like sunglasses and such. They'll actually be, it's actually part of why I want to get them done for July and August, is because obviously with summertime, it's a little bit more on our minds here in Canada than during the winter. These would also be amazing though for like stockings at Christmas, for reading glasses and stuff like that. I wouldn't necessarily suggest them for prescription lenses. They are not hard cases. They are there for like scratch protection rather than squash protection. All right. I've already got the dark ones done, so this is a good example of what it's going to be like. I got to, I'm just redesigning the heat transfer vinyl logo that's going to go in there. And I've got to like trim up ends and stuff, but the heat transfer vinyl will go here. Then the second magnetic snap needs to go on, and then it will be done. Well, once I get threads trimmed up and stuff like that. We're very close to being done. But it's super cute, and I just realized I should turn on my ring light if I can plug it in here. Okay, one moment. I'll plug in the ring light, and you'll be able to see me a bit better, as well as the products, actually. Which, you know, is always good, and processes, all that. Just about. My sewing space has not designed exactly for streaming. All right, there we go. Move this in a little bit better. That can go behind, and then you can snug right in like you're sitting on the couch beside me. There we go. Apparently one of the settings has actually... There we go. Oh, interesting. All right. Now, maybe time for a new ring light. This one has definitely done its duty. Okay, so I just gotta crank it up so you can actually is on me. Oh yeah, that helped quite a bit, or at least a little bit. We'll move you over here for now. Anyway, so this is the Mae Glasses case. And so what'll happen is I'll finish up cutting the threads here. There'll be a magnetic snap installed up here. We'll fold it over. And there we go. Obviously it'll fold over so it actually matches. But there, as you can see, it's pretty stiff. So it's going to be good, like protection for the glasses, for scratches and stuff like that. But not so much for like getting squished, obviously, since they're fabric. Anyway, that's a long-winded way to say it's scratch protection. So we're working on getting the turning bit actually like clipped. Then we'll turn and we'll top stitch them at the machine, and then we'll clip them together and do the finishing seam and final top stitching as well. Oops. So these are all, if you're watching this later, these are all hand-selected fabrics from Japan. I actually go over and purchase them in Tokyo and Kyoto. And actually I got a really nice email the other day, and I really appreciate it, asking if I work with obi and kimono and such. And actually I do work with obi. These actually look absolutely spectacular in obi. I just haven't cut them out yet. I've been working with what I've already cut from. These actually are made from the back cut of a small box bag. So when I cut the small box bags, I cut them on the fold, which means I have basically double width box bag, which I would make 2 box bags, small box bags. Or I can take them and actually do these. And I'm going to take the other half of the back cut, as I refer to it, and make a pencil cases. I have decided that's what we're going to do with them. Anyway, so but the obi glasses cases look absolutely spectacular. So those will be coming up. The obi actually are also extremely good for the wallets that I'm going to be adding to the lineup as well. I just finished these the other day. They're the necessary clutch wallet. And so basically what it would be is the body will be obi all around here. The interior will probably be the back side of the obi, and then on the card pockets and pocket here, I'm going to actually probably update and do a second zipper pocket. So there'll be 2 zipper pockets, these and the like card pockets. And I think all of that will be made from kimono because I'm figuring out how to actually sew with it. These are large enough that you can actually put your phone into the wallet. Just like that. Hello. I'm just chatting away here about we're going to be using some obi and kimono for wallets coming up here, and how spectacular the Mae eyeglass cases actually look in this. So this is the Mae Glasses case, and how it looks absolutely spectacular in obi. And I'm thinking that actually the Mae Glasses cases, these guys, will be lined in kimono as well. So, you know, just things on the horizon. Unfortunately, I only have so much time in the day, as does everyone else. And yeah, my eldest did have a stomach bug over the weekend. That's part of what slowed us down. Plus the long weekend. So I had one child home at all times over the weekend because the stat holiday, the like day off, didn't line up. So I didn't get as much done as I planned. So that's all right, but a little bit annoying. So, but between the eldest being home and also having a stomach bug, I kind of put a kink in how much I can actually do, because they are really good about keeping themselves entertained on the whole. If nothing else, they go into what I call TV daycare, so they end up like watching a lot of Paw Patrol and some sort of Blaze Monster Trucks right now, I guess. So I got quite a bit done considering the situation. But always, yeah, I always am over ambitious with what I plan to do as well, which never helps. So I do want to get a couple more wallets done for Omatsuri. So that'll be good. I've got some pick your own orders that need to be completed, as well as a big wholesale order that needs to be done before Knit City, which is always the case, although the Knit City order did help, or the wholesale order significantly helped me get moving on cutting for Knit City, which I don't normally do until about the end of July. At least that's when I used to do it. So that's a nice push to kind of get rolling on that. All right, so I'm using some of these sewing clips just to like fold over the edge here. Could I press it? 100%. Am I going to? No, it'll look fine. Just make sure everything's tucked in. That's mostly what I'm using the clips for, because we've pinking sheared down the seam allowance. So like the pinking shears make this triangular notching. And this week is completely topsy-turvy for when I will be on. I will not be on in the evenings because my husband is home, so he can take kiddos during the day for me. And we are busy this week. So sequence of events is going to be I work and will be on live stream today, which is Wednesday, tomorrow, which is Thursday, probably a little bit longer. I'll probably be on at the same time, but then I will be on longer in the evening tonight. I've got dinner with a friend, so I have to head out at a certain time. But and then Friday is Stampede, so we're going to go down to the grounds and see what we can see and have our beer, and we're going to buy day tickets for the chuck wagon races. Then we're going to come back and get the kiddos and take them to the chuck wagons. Chuck wagons are my favorite sport. It's pretty much the only sport I participate in ever, and usually it's just at Stampede. And then Saturday I will be back on to live stream in the afternoon. I will actually schedule that, so if you are looking for that timing, this is going to be Saturday the something 9th, 8th. Saturday the 8th. I'll be online and I will schedule that so that you have a little bit more forewarning if you want to make some plans to actually join me. And that one I will basically do as long as I can. I do know that I need to help my husband set up a garden shed on Saturday. So I'll chat with him about what time we kind of think I can be on. Probably be sometime after lunch though. And this is all in mountain time, so like noon MDT. It'll probably be about 1 o'clock mountain time. And that'll be 3 p.m. Eastern, etc. Noon Pacific, blah, blah, blah. All right, we've got 3 left, and then we will start the sewing. I'll throw more of these clips into this container. I also partly won't be on this week in the evenings because I am exhausted. Last week I stayed up. So I didn't just stream late. I also stayed up far too late. And afterwards just completely rebellious. I knew I should go to bed, but I didn't. So this week's a catch up on sleep as well. All right. Don't cut your seam allowance this close again, Katie. There's a couple places where it's like way too close. There we go. Ease that around the corner. That's the point of the pinking shears. It will actually ease around the corners a little bit better. Just going to make sure that we can actually like catch the fabric so that there's no blips in like There we go. Got it. And that's why I love the clips. They just hold everything there's a little bit more surface area to them, so they just hold a bit more in place properly. There we go. Yeah, good. All right. One more to clip, and then we will start sewing. This is the ducks. Super cute. So we will top stitch across the top to close everything, and then I'll turn and we'll clip the sides up again as well, and then we'll top stitch around the whole thing, and then it'll be done. It's such like, besides the fact that I'm doing these in volume, it's a really fast pattern to put together. And then, like I said, they've got 2 steps left. So after I sew them, I will have to put the actual like vinyl, heat transfer vinyl that I want on. And then we will be doing yeah, I need to put the logo in, and then I need to finish it off with a snap. So these will be done in time for the pop-up with Ancient Arts, but not much before that. Anything that's left over after Ancient Arts pop-up, I'll post online. All right, move the clip in. I stole one of my husband's screw containers. It actually holds the clips really well. I need to get a couple more for the pins and stuff that I use around here. And they're not always cheaper, but I think they are better. Although I bet it probably depends on where you buy them too. I don't know if that's something that's available at like the dollar store or not. So I saw a really good container at the dollar store the other day, actually. But I didn't end up actually having anything for it yet. So I was like, I don't need to buy it. Trying to be a little bit more economical with stuff that way. So that when I do go to buy stuff I need, I have the funds. So mostly because I didn't buy it because I couldn't think of what I would use it for. Which, you know, it's how, like, don't buy stuff you don't need, right? I don't know why there's not bag clips there, but we'll put them in the not bag sewing box. The washi tape is not to hold my sewing machine together. It is, however, to hold this little light bar on here so that I've got extra light. The sticky on the back of it wore out ages ago. I think it wore out before I basically put it on, so I didn't feel like buying another LED strip. Now, I'm going to go a little bit radio silent while I'm sewing. If anyone comes in and asks me a question, I will answer as I look up. There we go. That's better. All right, and then I will trim down all the thread ends here. I will actually take a lighter to these later and just kind of singe them off so that they're set even better than what they are right now. Obviously, I front and back stitch these as well. And then, let's see. I'll just trim everything down right now while I'm thinking about it, because then I don't have to do it later. I used to leave all my thread trimming to the end, but the last batch the big batch of large box bags that I did, I actually trimmed them before I turned them, and it turned out to be the same amount or even a little bit less work than it was before. Usually I wouldn't trim them until like the very end, and I was going, like, it was like tagging and trimming thread. But yeah, I think I actually like trimming them down before I do a bunch of the other work. All right. So yeah, so all those little ends will get singed off with the lighter. And the same on this end, although I did leave them a little bit long. Then we will fold this up like this and clip. And up on this side as well. And clip. Now, realistically, I could actually just finish this right now. So let's do that since I'm not chain piecing these. So let's get it done. And there we go. So the top stitching in this case is fairly decorative, except for the bit that actually holds the sides together here. It's for looks. A lot of top stitching actually is. I do top stitching on my bags so that the lining doesn't actually get into like zippers and or show like peek through at the top of a lot of bags. But for a lot of things, top stitching is functional in that, but it's also a lot of decoration as well. Obviously, this top stitch right now is extremely functional because it closes the whole thing up. Just make sure that I caught the interior. It's a little tiny bit that will just go over here again. Like that. There we go. Then I'll go through and trim up the ends here. Set up my thread catch so that I can actually just throw the thread in there instead of throwing it on the ground. Fabric scraps are one thing. Thread is another. All right, there we go. And then I will go through and singe those later as well, just because that'll make it better aesthetically. Clip and clip and in. This one is so, so, so good. Oh my goodness. Oh, I need to go back over that, but anyway. I don't know what it is about it, but it's so good. All right, there's a gap on this side. Ooh, no gaps. No gaps allowed. Blend it in with the stitch line that's already there. There we go. Okay. Good. Structurally sound. That turned out amazing. Love breakfast. And then I think, yeah, and then when it folds over, pancakes will actually be on the front or kind of to this on the top, which is awesome. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Get out of here, cat hair. All right, let's actually try stitching it this way because I haven't been, there we go, catching the exterior back in the fashion I want. There we go. I do a little bit of a back stitch on the top of the actual like fold, just because it's going to be a point of high stress. Yeah, that's better. Okay. And then, so there is, in all its glory. Foldy fold down. It's cute, guys. So how to make pancake is like on the back there, perfect, special. I do want to know though, there was I can't tell if this little salt shaker is sad or neutral though. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to ask the designers, is this a sad salt shaker or a neutral salt shaker? Because everything else on it is like smiling and all happy to be there. This one's a little bit surprised, but that's easy to tell. The cheeseburger's like, yeah, eat me. Pancakes are happy to be on their plate. Like, so what is up with the salt shaker? Must be neutral. Let's go with neutral. The inner lives of breakfast food condiments or seasonings, I guess. Bees. If you're just joining the live, yes, I was just talking about the inner lives of breakfast food condiments on my fabric. Everything on it is like super happy, except for the salt shaker, and I can't tell if the salt shaker is meant to be like neutral or sad. Let me know what you think in the chat. Let me find it again. So this little salt shaker up here, I can't tell if he's like sad or neutral or what, because like everything else is super happy except for this guy. This guy's surprised, which makes sense. But like the cheeseburger's like, yes, I'm gonna get eaten. And even the banana's like super happy. Hi. So who knows? Breakfast food enigmas. All right. This strawberry and bee fabric was so popular last time. I was very happy that I was able to restock it in November. It needs a little bit of extra top stitching care right here. Come on. Let's go. Make sure the interiors are all closed up. There we go. Snip. Snip. Oops. Oh, come here. No. It even lost its clip. Curses. Okay. Oh, went right under my foot pedal. Of course. Okay. Reclipped you. Behave yourself this time, please, and thank you. All right. That worked out better this time, so we're going to do it the same way this time. And it looks so good. This fabric looks good. Like, even though it's a small print, it looks good no matter what I put it on. Big bag, amazing. Large box bag, amazing. Small box bag, oh, triangle pouch. You better have a seat because it will knock you over. And like, just look at that. It's so friggin' adorable. Look at that case. It's gonna look so good. And it's actually, I've got brass or like antique bronze fitting as well. Hi. I'm losing my mind over how cute all the little products are. Yep. Mhm. All right, I'm back. My husband just wanted to confer about what him and the kids are going to do for dinner tonight because I'm going out with my friend. We're trying to cut down or limit the amount of like fast food and stuff we eat. And so it's just kind of like, should we just go for fast food? And it's like, yeah, go for it. This is little micro dogs, I'm calling them, on pink. And they're itty bitty. So like there's my finger. You can basically cover them up. Gone forever. All right. Adorable. Actually, these would be pretty easy to chain piece, so maybe I should do the rest of them that way. Because, like, you just go around and around and around. It's got a nice, like, stop-start point is, I guess, what I'm going for. Coming together. I think I got about 9 more to do. Seems like every time I go to count, it would be like, how many more do I have to do? Every time I've counted these ones, there's been like 9. So let's count them and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was close. All right, let's finish up the closing top stitch, and then, yeah, we'll chain piece the rest of them. Curious what machine I'm on. I'm on a Juki DDL 8100. I purchased it from Mason Sewing Machine in Vancouver. They were very good to me. I actually emailed a few other places. The ones in Calgary never got back to me. The one in Edmonton said that basically I should have someone closer to me that could provide me with a sewing machine, which I was like, you don't want to sell me a sewing machine? It was such a weird interaction. And so I contacted Mason out in Vancouver because part of what I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to test it before I purchased, because I've never worked on an industrial before, obviously, before I purchased this one. And I wanted to make sure that, like, it wasn't that terrifying for speed and stuff. Obviously, it's variable speed, so it's pretty straightforward. Anyway, but I went out to Mason Sewing Machine, and they treated me very well, and they've continued to treat me very well so far. So if you're looking for an industrial machine and you're in the BC, especially Lower Mainland area, definitely give them a call or email. They'll be happy to help. And as for, like, so it actually got shipped to me. It was $120 to ship back whenever I bought it. I don't remember. It's been a while. And it's just been going nice and steady so far. The cats did get some, like, thread wrapped around the hand wheel up here last year, so I had to, that was one of the repair things I had to do in the last month, is I had to get in there and get the rest of the thread out of there, because what it caused is it pressed against the oil gasket, actually. And so my machine was just like leaking oil on my table. Could not figure out why. Got a really bad vibe from the mobile tech that I called out. So I was just like, nope, I'm not standing for that. and canceled the appointment before he came out, and decided to just figure out how to get it apart myself. And I actually found a video about what I had to do right after I called him and figured out that that was the problem. It was basically it was like, it wasn't how to change an oil gasket, but it was like how to get the hand wheel off to get the thread out of there because blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, it was the same problem that I had. I was like, wait, that sounds like why I'm leaking oil. And lo and behold, since I've cleaned it up, I haven't had any oil on my table. So now this isn't like engine oil. It's definitely like it's a lightweight mineral oil, but it keeps everything running smooth. It's actually the oil indicator right there. And I think I've only changed, well, I definitely have only changed the oil once in the machine. Probably should change it more often, but I changed it just when we moved. I drained the machine so that the movers didn't have to worry about like oil in the truck. So it's actually the main reason I wanted movers, was I did not want to be moving this. It was bad enough moving it downstairs. I didn't have to move it back out. And all the calyx shelves. Like, oh my goodness. My husband was like, we don't need movers. We can do it ourselves. I'm like, hey, we are 7 years older than when we moved in here. We have 2 babies. I was still in the most like an acute phase of recovery for my ankle at that point, because I'd only broken it 8 months before. So like the sprain hadn't actually healed yet. And I was like, and there's stuff that we didn't move in, because when we got couches made for that house, basically, or new couches made, but they got taken upstairs by the delivery crew. And I was just like, I don't want to deal with it. And thankfully we did not, because they quoted us for the actual move for what I gave them, a very detailed list on the furniture and all of that. And they said that it would take them about 4.5 to 5 hours. It took them 9 or 10 hours total. And so I'm pretty sure if we had actually moved ourselves, it would have taken us about 30. So, and they like hooked up the machine super easy. Like, it was just so much smoother. Next time, I think I would just get them to move everything. So what we did is like, we got them to move the big furniture and all of that. And then we moved like all the boxes and personal items and everything. But I think next time I would just get them to move everything and be done with it. If we move. I don't think we're going to be moving for a very long time at this point. The other house was always kind of treated as, we are going to move one day house. This one, we've settled in really well. It feels like home already, which is amazing. I need my awl. And even like last year, it felt like home. We only moved into this one last year. And the big thing was the backyard, and we've used the backyard. Like last summer, we used the backyard more than we'd ever used the backyard at the old house in 7 years. So if that's not a good proof in the pudding that it was a good move, I don't know what to tell you. Come up. There you go. All right, we got one more to do this closing seam on, and then we will clip and do the chain piece top stitching around the edges. And then these will be done, and we'll move on to the knot bags. And then what I'm going to focus on after this for the pop-ups is we're going to focus on big bag, because I don't have a lot of big bags. And what else? Big bags and something else. I don't know. Probably just big bags. I do need to focus on some large box bags for Knit City. And everything will just kind of fall into place as it goes, sort of thing. But I need the knot bags made from these new fabrics for sure. And big bags are really low in stock right now. So the big bags are the big tote bags for like blankets and stuff like that. Okay. And then you need a little bit of care there, so we'll just clip it up with that clip there. Looks like that's probably where we'll end up starting as it is. I ended up cutting the fabric a little bit too close on a couple of these corners. Okay. Probably should have thrown some fabric glue in there instead, just to like hold it after I unclipped it. But you know, there we go. Fixed. And that'll get caught in the top stitching as well, so it'll anchor it. Go. Clip. So we're going to go through and actually clip all of these together. And then chain piecing is when you go through and you sew things back to back to back to back to back. It's actually a quilting technique because obviously you're sewing so many blocks. So it makes it faster, and it also actually cuts down on the amount of thread you use because you're not pulling it out and like pulling those thread tails constantly either. Here we go. Looks like we're getting our evening storm building here as well, which is pretty normal right now. I realized that I was supposed to line this one in blue after I'd sewn it, and I think cut it potentially. So I was just like, well, I guess it's lined in white, which is kind of annoying because I was supposed to line something else in white that this one took, but nah. This is how I end up with projects like still not done after Knit City and things like that. So they end up going into timeout. There's actually one that's nearly finished back there, which is definitely in timeout because I completely missed the interior fabric. So, you know, trials and tribulations of making stuff. It'll get finished eventually, but I don't feel like going through and seam ripping it right now. I don't want to break up the workflow. This one is amazing. I love it already. Not like I haven't said that about a bunch of the other ones, but like, look at it. So the cats are back in town. Turned out so good. Got a sexy chicken leg right here. Flip it open and there's your cats. All right, we've got 3 more to clip and then we'll do the sewing and then yeah, onto knot bags. Mostly because I keep saying that I'm going to do big bags, but I'll work on big bags this tomorrow and this weekend because I need to actually cut the interior and interfacing for them. Oh, okay. It's like what is happening? There's like there's something crunchy, but it's interfacing glue, which will come off if I brush it off. So that's fine. There's that grumpy salt shaker again. I get it. Yeah, there we go. Must have just been picked up from like being in the press. So this one is also adorable. It reminds me of Hamtaro. If you're of my age group, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not, they're cute hamsters. And Hamtaro was a cute hamster anime. I wasn't big into it, but it was cute. And when I saw this fabric, that's all I could think of was Hamtaro. All right, last one is the bunnies. Like this. And once I get these done, I'm going to mute myself for a moment and just take a drink of Coke, Diet Coke Zero. And then we'll move on to the knot bags. All right. Itty bitty. eyeglass cases all getting stacked. Okay. I don't know why I didn't put my clips the opposite direction. The rounded parts against the flat. And I should put the flat against the flat. Yeah. Putting my pins the wrong direction, then you like stab yourself. At least the clips aren't going to draw blood. It's good. So good. So eyeglass cases are something that have been requested quite a bit actually, but I could never find a pattern that I liked. They all look dated, a little bit older, not what I wanted, but I really like this. So it's going to look really good once I actually get the magnetic rivet snap in there. There'll be a black logo of Atelier Nekozuki. I'm debating if I want to put a cat underneath like a curve of Atelier Nekozuki or not. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to cut one and figure out if that's what I want to do or not. Obviously, the name is already fairly distinct, but I like having the cat or like a cat paw or something. The cat paw doesn't seem right here. I was looking for like maybe an origami cat kind of art SVG for it. I don't know. Might just end up being like an arched Atelier Nekozuki, just for something a little bit different. But the vinyl is so, because right now my tags that I have are like way too big. They'd hang out the side of the eyeglass case way too much and look ugly. And so I've got to figure out a different system. I don't want to go too minimalist because I'm not a minimalist person, but I do think I need to get some sort of little bit more straightforward logo for stuff like this, so I could sew I would sew a little tag in the corner then, or up like I guess maybe, or like maybe right in here or something like that, just so it's like tucked away. I'm not 100% sure yet. I said I was going to chain piece these, and then that's not what I've been doing. So let's do it for the last ones. Just not my sewing rhythm yet today, apparently. This Maiko and Kyoto fabric is spectacular. It's chain piecing. I'm going to go in with the next piece here. Just kind of hop off of that one. Hop onto this one. And then there was, oh yeah, we're good. Go. If you have any questions, please throw them in the chat. I will be more than happy to answer. When I'm not potentially running my fingers over with a sewing needle, you know. My hands are kind of important for sewing, so. Yeah, it'll be fine. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Oh well. Go on under just a bit more. There we go. Two more, and then we're going to move on to knot bags. It's really funny. When I was at the flea market in Kyoto in May, I saw a handbag pattern, or like handbag shape, that I really liked. Didn't even know how to search for a pattern for it. Get home, and on YouTube, from a Japanese maker, is the pattern for a bag that like what I was looking at. So I'm super excited to try and actually make it now. I'm thinking it'd be something that would look really good in an obi, with the obi stabilizer pulled out actually. But it's like, it's got a really different shape. It's sewn fairly differently as well. I just think it would look really cool. Someone requested more Japanese looking bags, so I think that would fit the bill. I've only ever seen that shape in Japan, which is, I think, what they were looking for. So, you know, we'll try it out later on and see. Obviously not right now because I'm in full-on show prep mode, like swamped with show prep mode and wholesale orders. So it'll be sometime this fall at this point. Because once I'm done some more work for the pop-up with Ancient Arts Yarns next week, I actually want to get some more wallets done for Omatsuri in August. And the wallets don't take that long to come together, but it's like, if the stars align, they don't take that long to come together. I also have one more experiment to make to see if the wallet pattern will work with obi fabric, which I don't see why it wouldn't. Like obi lined with kimono, but you never know. Sometimes fabric surprises you. So now this has all been chain pieced together, which means that I've actually used a significant amount less of thread in between each of these. And now I just go through and I just trim the thread. Little ends of these ones will actually be singed off with a lighter later on, when I'm finishing everything up. So the only thing is, that's what's left. I have to singe the threads on these guys, and then I need to get the vinyl logo figured out so that I can put it in here. I'm trying to decide if I should just do an arched Atelier Nekuzuki or if it should be an arch with like a cat underneath. I really want to find like an origami cat, but I haven't been able to yet. So I'm going to do a bit more of research because I feel like it's going to be black. And on these like white backgrounds, a black cat. Well, I've got a black cat. I was going to be like, it would be really stark and like startling. But it would also be good because Quality Control Inspector Adelia is black. I don't know. And I'm going to put a little bit more effort into trying to find like an origami cat. And then if I don't, we'll just do the cat silhouette because it would still look really good. go. And then eventually I will get little tags to sew into these. But the place that I used to buy tags went completely under. No warning at all that they were going to close. And so now I'm kind of high and dry for all of my tags. And these ones don't work well for like, so I've got the little ones that I insert. I've also got the metal ones. These are going to go on like purses and wallets. But like would be too much on the back of this, I think. It would break it up too much. So I need something that'll sew in. So I'm thinking it'll be a little tag that'll go. I don't know where it's going yet. Oh, that one needs to be restitched. Because that bobbin thread is way too loose. Okay. There. Let's go through and fix it from the edge up to the top. There we go. Yep, good. And then we'll singe these ends together too when I actually go in with a lighter. There we go. Yeah. So the bobbin thread was like skipping down here for some reason and was not tidy. It was super loose. So it did not look good. Now it looks better. This one I really like how this one turned out because it's like these might go are like nice and up on the back here. And there's the one right in the middle on the front, which is super awesome. This ring light really isn't doing much right now. Prime days on Amazon are coming up though, so I think I'm gonna actually this worked out so well. Look at that. So usually with a directional fabric, I'd end up with this upside down, but because this is like up down, yeah, no, that worked out perfect. So they're actually all facing like standing upright, which is so good. And then the pagoda on the back here as well. Anyway, Amazon Prime days are coming up, so I think that is something that I will end up buying if there's a good deal on them, is some video lights, because this just isn't cutting it when it's this bright outside behind me. So, all right, I'm gonna have a quick drink of Coke Zero, and then we are going to go and do nut bags. One moment. All right, I just wanted to give you a heads up about that because I was muting myself. So one of the things we do have to do is we have to go through and clip all of the little edges on the knot bags. I will be doing that with my, sorry, of course the box that actually holds knot bags would be super loud. Anyway, I didn't do that before and we need to do it now. I mention this because I'm going to end up having to use my thread snips for it because my shears are actually getting sharpened right now. So don't do this do it with your shears. Don't do it with your thread snips if you can. Another situation like the eyeglass cases of do as I say, not as I do. Ugh, it's such a horrible saying. All right. Like that. And then this one actually has thread there that just needs to be trimmed up. So these have notches in the sides so that when I'm sewing, they actually get matched up and with the end. That's the end of the stitching, because then when you sew them together, you need that little notch so that you can match the exterior and interior together. There we go. The thread snips are actually working really well for this. So now I did go through and pilfer a lot of this fabric, the interiors, from previous box bag cuts. So I think I still have another half box of knot bags to actually make. But for now, I wanted to concentrate on getting the new fabrics in the shop. And then old fabrics can come later. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I got distracted by the ooh shiny new fabric. And that's where we're at. And that's fine. All right, they're ready to go. Apparently I'm missing a piece of white fabric. So we're just going to peel that off and we'll find it in a minute. So currently we're working on knot bags. I'm just doing the last touches of prep on them because they need to have a notch for sewing. And that's what I'm working on right now, is just lining everything up to get the notch done. This is on the paper pattern. I don't know why I don't just do it when I'm actually cutting them out. But for some reason, I haven't in the past few years. And I think this might actually be a bit faster since you like line so many up anyway. Although I do have to cut these separately since I don't have my shears. So, you know, it's not actually saving me time right now. And realistically, it doesn't when I even have my shears. It's just me being lazy when I'm cutting them out of the paper patterns. Not lazy. Trying to be efficient. And failing. All right. Snip. Could I also go get my paper pattern and do this? Yes, I could, and that would probably be a good idea. But I'm not going to because everything's set up well for the camera on the webcam right now. There we go. It would be faster if I had my shears, though, for sure. Hands down. But I cut all the stabilizer out for the eyeglass cases, and then I was cutting with the same shears for, what was I cutting? I can't even remember. I was talking about it on the live stream, though, because I realized, I'm like, oh, these are dull. What the heck? And they weren't, because they weren't dull while I was cutting the stabilizer. Then I realized it was because I had been cutting with the stabilizer with it. So, you know, live and learn. So we've got all our shears. I tripped up my husband because I also finally took our kitchen knives in. We've had our kitchen knives for since we have gotten married, which has been almost exactly 9 years. And we have not sharpened them. And we're cooking at home more right now. So, no, we got to go in and get them sharpened. And it'll just make everything safer and easier. And the shears, it's because it's safe, also safer and far more efficient to have shears actually that work. I'm surprised that stabilizer actually, I didn't think of it. It's not that surprising. It's thick and it's not really fabric. It's compressed fabric, I guess. It's all polyester, of course, or something along those lines. So. All right, so I'm just trying to line them up as best as I can. Obviously, if the actual snips aren't perfect, it's not a big deal. Oh, okay. The beige and the white have already been snipped. I didn't see that on the other side, so they've got 2 now. And that's okay. And then we got this stacked left. All right. So that one has also already been done. Awesome. And there's the other piece to it that I had misplaced. Maybe. Are you? Are you not? Oh no. No. Those do not match. So this is a tone-on-tone fabric, and it's hard to tell. And I hope no, I wouldn't have cut that out wrong. But so it's actually, I am missing 4 pieces basically. So hopefully I track them down before we start sewing. There's one of them. There we go. At least it's already clipped as well. So if you've never joined me before, all these fabrics are hand selected in Japan. I go over and I purchase in Tokyo and Kyoto. And then I also actually purchase obi and kimono to work with for handbags and wallets that are coming up. And I'm actually thinking that the Mae Glasses Cases, so these glass cases, I am definitely going to be doing more out of obi. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them in kimono, which will look absolutely spectacular. If not the actual obi as well, because it's like the back of the body facing portion of the obi is typically like plain silk, because there's no point in decorating the portion that's going to be facing your body, because it's a waste of energy basically. It also gives it a directionality so that it's easier to put on, is what I find as well. Those, however, are not going to be out until probably August at this point. Right now, I am working towards a pop-up with Ancient Arts Yarns, which is July 15th. It's just over a week away. And then Omatsuri is in August. So I want to get some wallets done for it, as well as some other products. A little bit more, less niche product. There we go. Obviously, for knitters and stuff like that, the project bags are still the way to go. After Omatsuri, I also have Knit City Vancouver, which is September 22nd to 24th. That's the dates of the event. The market is September 23rd to 24th. And then, so the pop-up with Ancient Arts Yarns is in their parking lot of the dye studio in Southeast Calgary. They're across from Shaw GMC. We're on the Blackfoot. And then the Omatsuri in August is at the Max Bell Center in Calgary. And then Knit City in September is at the PNE Forum. So, and I'm not 100% sure on the hours for Knit City, but if you watch my social media or subscribe to the newsletter or join me on live streams later, I will have that information as well once it's solidified. And the hours for the Ancient Arts Yarns pop-up are 10 to 4. All right. Snip. Snip. And then what else is going on this summer? Not much. Summers are always kind of, don't end up doing much in summer typically, which is ridiculous considering where we live. Although we are training for the Dopey Challenge in Florida right now for January. So that's going to be taking a lot of our time in the summer so that we can run outside. I am a fair weather runner. I do not run outside when it's cold. Actually, it's not the cold that gets me. It's the ice. I can't do it. And I don't, I'm clumsy as it is. Broke my ankle tripping over a rock. Stepping back on a rock and rolling it. So I'm not going to be running while it's icy. All right, here's the last stack. And then I don't know where the mystery piece of knot bag went, but apparently it's not here. It's probably in the bin somewhere, and I just didn't pick it up because it was everything's been kind of wadded up. But we'll find out later. It's here somewhere. The dark version of this has already been done up to the point of ironing and finishing the handles, but I'd hit a point on them where it's like I better just move on to the white stitching because ironing at this point will just kind of break up the process too much. And as I finish big bags and large box bags and all of those, I'll need to turn the iron on in anyway and get stuff finished. So that's what I'm thinking. The fact that I'm only really going to focus on big bags in the next week, though, means that I do need to. I'll need to swap out the thread anyway for big bags. So that's the other part of it. I try to do as much of one color thread as I can at one time, just so I'm not constantly changing threads in and out and like having to re-thread. Yes, I could knot the threads together and just run it down through, but I feel like that, well, you have to untie it with the needle anyway because the thread, like the knot that you get in the thread is usually too big anyway, so whatever. Just as fast to rethread it by hand. Hello. You were not snipped up there, were you? Interesting. What did you do, Katie? Must have been trying to fit it on a out of a cut that wouldn't have fitted otherwise. Okay, fixed. That'll just get sewn back together when I go to finish these anyway. I really like that fabric. It's like one of the older fabrics, but it is so good in the knot bag. It's not even funny. All right. So much concentration. I don't know why I went silent. It doesn't take that much concentration to do this. Oh well. It takes some, but not an insane amount. So if you didn't hear me talking about this before, why we notch it or why I notch it is because that's the start-stop point for the actual stitching. So it just makes it, and so it makes it easier putting the interior and exterior together because it gives you a nice notch to basically nest your bags together. At least that's why I assume. That's my head canon about why I do this. I can't, like, the actual pattern never said why they do it this way. I find that that's how it works, though. Who knows? All right, there we go. We are ready to sew some knot bags. Knot bags are really fun and fast, which is good. I am down for fun and fast projects right now. Big bags are another one of those, but I'll be actually on live again tomorrow working. But tomorrow I'll be working on getting big bag lining and interfacing cut, actually, is what the focus will be tomorrow. Is it going to sit nicely, hopefully, on the chair with the notebook? There we go. Anyway, yeah, tomorrow I'll be cutting interfacing and lining for big bags. And then I'll pull the bin out of the cutting room and we'll work on getting, actually, no, we won't pull it out of the cutting room. The webbing that I use for the big bags is actually in the cutting room. So we'll just do all of that tomorrow. What'll happen is I'll match up the webbing with the colors and put them in the bin. I just realized that means, and I never knew that there was actually a heat. Something's going on upstairs and I'm not 100% sure what. So I'm sorry if you hear some of that. My youngest just woke up from their nap, so who knows. I don't hear crying, so it's should be okay. And Dad's up there too, so. Anyway, I never realized that there's actually like it's a hot knife for cutting webbing. So I've been like singeing the ends of my webbing for the big bags, and now I'm like, I should probably invest in a hot knife because it would actually make it faster, safer, and more efficient. All right, so I just figured out how to actually chain piece knot bags the other day, so that's what we're doing right now. We're going to sew them all in a chain, or until my bobbin thread runs out, which is probably going to be soon. And I probably have another hour and a half worth of work left, or work time left, I guess. It's the better description. So I'll be here for a while. Actually, I just realized I am going to need my pinking shears for these, which are supposed to be done tomorrow, Thursday. So I guess I will just be sewing them, and then I will actually be doing, then we'll go into the cutting room, I guess. Probably after a washroom break, because my guts are disagreeing with my lunch. There's the bobbin thread out. So we'll swap them. All right, that washing break needs to come earlier than I anticipated. So let's see. I don't really have anything to show how long I'll be, but I think what I'll do, I'm going to say bye for now, and I will come back in about 15 minutes or so, which will give us another hour worth of work left. So I'll chat with you all soon. Bye.